Hello everyone, hello YouTubers, I am the Sturgeon of Truth, and today we're going to be looking at the BBC website. Today is the 10th of November 2022, and the article that I have taken to critique today is Donald Trump and the US midterms. How bad was his night? Well, let's remember that Donald Trump isn't in the American government at all. He is someone who used to be a president, but doesn't actually have anything to do with the American system as we know it. So let's have a look at this article. Let's get straight in there and let's see how biased it actually is. Donald Trump and the US midterms. How bad was his night? So obviously they're thinking, well, they're not saying how good was his night. They're saying how bad was it? So obviously they're anti-Trump. Now, just to make it clear, I am not a Trump supporter. In my opinion, he's a psychopath and a megalomaniac, pretty much like all the other politicians that I can think of. His only kind of redeeming feature really is the fact that he looks at the system that we've got and sees that it's broken. And I have to agree with him. You know, it is a broken system. We are led by maniacal people for maniacal reasons. It doesn't make any sense at all. So that's my take on Donald Trump. Let's just start with this article. He may have departed the White House. That's true. But the figure of Donald Trump still looms large over US politics. With another presidential run in the pipeline, how did the midterm results affect him? Okay, so standing before a crowd of adoring supporters in Ohio earlier this week, former President Donald Trump made the promise, a big announcement, on 15th of November, exactly a week after a predicted red wave of Republican victories. I hate speech bubbles, speech marks. It just sounds sarcastic. Whenever you put in a speech mark, it's like sarcasm. And the BBC do that a lot, okay? On the 15th of November, exactly a week after the predicted red wave of Republican victories in the midterm elections, which many observers saw as a litmus test for his influence over the party. That wave, however, turned out to be more of a wavelet. Let's just remember, as far as I'm aware, on the 10th of November, the Republicans got the Senate. So it's not exactly a loss, is it? This is what I mean. The BBC is very, very biased. They don't like Trump. They want you to not like Trump. And they're going to make sure that they will throw dirt at him at any point. They're not going to give him a fair ride. Mr. Trump's announcement, a much hinted at 2024 presidential run, will come after an election in which many of his endorsed candidates underperformed, throwing into question the continued viability of the Make America Great Again brand of US conservatism. So, again, Make America Great Again. It's like you put it in speech marks and all of a sudden it's like it's a slur. Whereas the idea, the concept of making a country great or being good is somehow... Is that a bad thing? I can't quite understand why. Make America great again, you idiot. Doesn't make sense, does it? It's just stupid. Carrying on with the article, perhaps more concerning for the former president is the resounding success of the Florida governor and potential 2024 rival, Ron DeSantis, who celebrated a win of the ages in his re-election bid as his tensions with Mr. Trump spilled out into the open. Win for the ages. So, the BBC is saying, don't go with Donald Trump. Who you really want to go for as a Republican candidate is Ron DeSantis. And I really love what Donald Trump said. I mean, he's probably not true, but Ron DeSanctimonious. I mean, Donald Trump, he's very good at doing that. Those little sound bites are hilarious. Ron DeSanctimonious. It's funny. A win for the ages. I don't even know what that means, but it's sarcastic. A win for the ages. So let's have a look at how the midterms have gone so far for Mr. Trump and what they might mean for his political future. All eyes on Ron DeSantis. Are they? I don't know. While Republican candidates across the country met unexpectedly tight races, Mr. DeSantis, 44, swept to a nearly 20-point landslide over Democratic challenger Charlie Crist, including a clear majority among Latino voters. 4 years ago, by comparison, he won by less than half a percentage point. So he's gaining in popularity. That's good for him. He is the potential opposition to Donald Trump. The win will further fuel speculation of a potential presidential run in 2024. At his victory party in Tampa on Tuesday night, his supporters chanted, 2 more years! 2 more years, starkly highlighting the appeal of a man some journalists and Republican observers have dubbed Trump with substance. They're trying to think, look, you don't want to go with Trump. You want to go with this guy, Ron DeSantis, okay, or Trump 2.0. Yeah. Among those that now see Mr. DeSantis as a stronger White House contender than Mr. Trump is Mike Cernovich, a right-wing commentator who once described by Politico as a Trump cheerleader. And this is what he said. This is what this guy said you've never heard of. Trump has a zero shot at 2024 in general. After tonight, it isn't up for debate. Mr. Cernovich tweeted on Tuesday night, DeSantis in 2024 or accept total defeat. There's no other side to that. They haven't got anyone in this article to say, but on the other hand, there are Trump supporters saying he's ready for it. This guy said that. So again, this is just showing outrageous BBC bias again. They have an agenda. The agenda is Donald Trump bad, what we say good. Let's just finish that off. The prospect of facing DeSantis in 2 years isn't lost on Mr. Trump, who warned that he could hurt himself very badly and that he would reveal things about him that won't be very flattering. Patrick Ruffini, a Republican pollster and strategist, described Mr. Trump as a wounded animal to the BBC when compared to Mr. DeSantis' very good election night. Donald Trump wasn't even up for an election. They've gone to the trouble of making an entire article about Donald Trump and an election that he wasn't in. So the Senate is 48 Democrats, 48 Republicans. Hardly a huge win for the Democrats. The House is 188 Democrats, 208 Republicans. Now, if we go to the BBC headlines at the moment in the morning, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Let's see what it says. This is the gist of it. So, US midterm elections, why a Republican wave never happened, except that they gained loads of seats. Apart from that, it's fine. How bad was Donald Trump's night? Democrat who nearly died keeps party's hope alive. We can see where the bias is quite clearly, can't we? So anything to do with the Republicans is seen in a negative light, and anything to do with the Democrats is seen in a positive light. It's essentially just so outrageous, the bias in the BBC. I'm going to call it out. That's the point of this YouTube channel. The Sturgeon of Truth is going to take apart these BBC articles and show you where the bias is and what the real story is. So this is my first YouTube video, probably a bit rough around the edges, but it's proof of concept. If you enjoyed what you've seen, then like and subscribe this video, and I will do more in the future. Thanks for watching.